Now, the community in Watertown coming together in mourning today after a house fire left 3 people dead. Also, family and friends of a missing Madison man continuing their search efforts 3 weeks after he disappeared in Rock County. In an area, LGBTQ+ bar is hosting an active shooter training session just weeks after a gunman opened fire at a nightclub in Colorado. News 3 Now at 6 begins right now. A day after learning about a fire that killed 3 people in Watertown early Friday morning, some members of that community are rallying together to raise money for the victims. Good evening, everyone. I'm McKenna Alexander. Some support to help the victims came from a fundraiser at the Watertown Winter Market. Our Catherine Mark shares how one woman was compelled to raise money to support the victims' loved ones.
After a fire in Watertown killed 3 people, the coordinator of the Watertown Winter Market said the community felt an immense loss. And during the holiday season, she tells me it couldn't be a better time than to give back to this family who lost so much.
Anyone you spoke to in Watertown yesterday or today has mentioned how awful and how tragic it is and how they want to help.
Cassie Oxford and the community in Watertown are feeling many emotions after learning about a deadly fire in their town.
As a mother, I couldn't imagine going through something like that, and as a community, we want to let them know they're not alone.
The support at the market is coming through financial donations.
So from the proceeds from the charity raffle and also from our food sales, it'll be 50% will go to Watertown Family Aid and 50% will go to the family directly. I just hope it brings some peace and stability to the family, takes them off their plate.
For Cassie, she's hoping that every dollar can help those who are now suffering during a time of year meant to be celebrating.
This is the most tragic time for something like this to happen. It's really brought the community together, even if it's in a bad way.
We don't have much information about the people who died in this fire as of Saturday. When we do learn that information, we'll make sure to have that on our website at channel3000.com. Reporting in Watertown, I'm Catherine Merck for News 3 Now.
Let's get a look now at your certified most accurate forecast with meteorologist Julian Seawright. Julian, we've got about 2 weeks till Christmas Eve, and it sure looks like winter out there.
Yes, it does, McKenna. We're still looking at some lingering snow from yesterday's snow event, but it's beginning to melt, and over the next few days, we're going to see less and less of it. Now, fog has really been holding pace for us throughout much of southern Wisconsin. As you can see outside of our sky cam, nothing is showing up for us because of how thick that fog is. Taking a look at our visibility, some improvements around Madison, but for us here outside of the station is not much to look at. We're looking at obscured visibility throughout much of southern Wisconsin. So if you're going to be on the roads, make sure you're using your low beams and taking it slow. We're looking ahead. Temperatures will stay steady into the mid-30s as we get in throughout the rest of tonight. And that fog isn't going to be really going anywhere by the time we get into our Sunday morning either. In terms of precipitation, we had a couple of drizzles, but this mainly cleared itself out. We could still hold on to a little bit of drizzle later into the nighttime, but we're not looking for anything significant. Temperatures will bottom out around 31 degrees here in Madison. Areas to the west could see into the upper 20s between Prairie du Chien and Boscobel, and for our friends in Platteville, but about 33 for Janesville. But folks, over the next couple of days, we have an unsettled weather pattern that we're going to be talking about that's going to come into the next week. So we'll talk about this in just a few moments. Until then, back to you, McKenna.
All right, thanks, Julian. New at 6 tonight, the family and friends of a missing Madison man were out again today, searching for 27-year-old Chris Miller. Miller hasn't been seen or heard from in 3 weeks. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says he disappeared after a pursuit on the freeway in Janesville. His family says his last known location was just west of I-3990, south of East Avalon Road. Today, Miller's loved ones were back out searching for any clues that can help them figure out where he is and what happened to him. Miller is described as being 6 feet tall, weighing nearly 180 pounds, and having black hair and black eyes. He also has a tattoo that reads Tammy on his chest and a scar on his thumb. His family says Rock County has stopped searching for him and has turned the investigation over to Madison police.
So it's like, I'm going to keep fighting till Rock County take accountability and continue to search for my son because we want to find him. I'm not going to just leave him just out here anywhere. We don't even know what happened. I just want to find my son. That's the main focus right now, is finding him, finding some clues. If anybody, know his whereabouts, reach out, let us know, because we have not a clue. We have no trace of him at all.
Anyone with information on where Chris Miller is asked to call Madison Police at the number on your screen. That's 608-255-2345. His family is also posting updates on a Facebook page called Finding Christopher Miller. Also noon tonight, a Madison LGBTQ bar and nightclub opened its doors early today to host an active shooter training. It comes at 3 weeks after 5 people were killed and 19 injured when a gunman opened fire inside of Club Q, an LGBTQ+ nightclub in Colorado Springs. The 2-hour training at 5 nightclub helped prepare people on what to do should they ever find themselves in a horrible situation like that. Madison police led the session, which was offered for free.
When we have events here, at the beginning of every event, we always talk about all of our exits, where to go, which is something we've never done before, but now it's just a natural thing that we do. And then this seminar was just another tool.
5 nightclub actually has ties to Club Q. A former door person at 5 is now the general manager at Club Q. Earlier this week, the 22-year-old gunman from Colorado Springs was charged with 305 criminal counts. In Milwaukee, police are investigating the death of a U.S. postal worker. The 44-year-old man was shot and killed on duty last night while delivering a package. The victim had worked for USPS for nearly 2 decades. Investigators are searching for those responsible as the Milwaukee Police Department works with both the United States Postal Inspection Service and the FBI. No other details have been released. We have an update tonight on the case involving 4 University of Idaho students who were stabbed to death. Police are now searching for a person or people who may have been inside a car near the crime scene when those students were killed, whom police believe may have critical information about the case. Jen Sullivan has the latest on the investigation.
It's been nearly a month since 4 University of Idaho students were killed, and still police have yet to name a suspect. It's a case that's rocked the small college town of Moscow.
This is a very active case.
On November 13th, the bodies of Madison Mogan, Zaina Kernodle, Kaylee Goncalves, and Kernodle's boyfriend Ethan Chapin were found stabbed multiple times in their off-campus home. Investigators are now looking for at least one person they believe was inside a white 2011-2013 Hyundai Elantra like this one near the crime scene at the time the victims were killed. Police say the occupants may have critical information to share about the case, but are remaining tight-lipped about other details.
Behind the scenes, there's a lot of people working on this case, and we're going to continue.
On Wednesday, police began the process of returning the victims' personal belongings to their families.
It's time for us to get those things back that really mean something to those families and hopefully to help with some of their healing.
Authorities say they're working through the more than 6,000 tips they've received to try and identify a suspect, as well as looking at the victims' activities in the hours leading up to their deaths.
We owe this to the family, we owe this to the victims, we owe this to our community.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
In health news tonight, flu cases are on the rise across the country, with health experts and at the CDC saying they have seen that virus spiking since Thanksgiving. In fact, the agency reports more than 1/3 of all flu hospitalizations and deaths this season happened in just the past week. Overall, the flu has sickened more than 13 million Americans and has led to 120,000 hospitalizations and 7,300 deaths. Health officials are urging people to take precautions, especially as families get together for the upcoming holidays.
If you don't think this affects you because you may not have the flu or COVID, just imagine, God forbid, that you may have a heart attack or you may be pregnant and have to go to the hospital because of early labor, and those hospitals are full. So this affects everybody, whether you are ill with the flu and COVID or RSV at this time or not.
The amount of flu reported so far this year has already surpassed the number of flu cases recorded last year. About 80% of hospital beds are in use right now, an 8% increase over the past 2 weeks. More local news is ahead at 6. If you were out in Verona this afternoon, you may have seen some reindeer. How the town is getting into the holiday spirit with just 2 weeks until Christmas Eve. And a new study shows statins are effective at lowering your risk of suffering a deadly stroke. The findings from the latest research coming up next on News 3 Now at 6.
Your bathroom from old to new, from outdated to the modern shower of your dreams in as little as 1 day. Just call Mad City Baths, Wisconsin's #1 remodeler and trusted local source for American-made baths, tub-to-shower conversions, and walk-in tubs. Plus, it's our end-of-year savings event. Receive 75% off installation of a new bath or shower, and we install year-round. But purchase now to get $750 in Mad City cash for future home improvements. Pick up the phone, schedule a free estimate. With our Price Lock Guarantee, we'll guarantee your price for 1 year and receive a free $75 Restaurant.com gift card with in-home estimate. Plus, call during this program for great financing, no interest and no payments till 2026. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call 608-729-4466. That's 608-729-4466.
Hey, there's my girl. Who's that?
Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. Whether you're looking for all the advanced features or something with a lower upfront cost, with Rheem heating equipment, you can stay comfortable even in the most uncomfortable situations.
Oh, come on! Yes, let's go!
Feel the Wohlers difference. Call Wohlers Heating and Air Conditioning today, serving Dane County for over 45 years.
Those brave men and women of our armed forces, generations of them. Why should today's burdens fall back onto them? They were there for us. Now let's be there for them. Your local Wisconsin energy providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund are working together to deliver Wisconsin veterans in crisis heat, power, and help staying in their home. But they can't do it alone. Call to donate today.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Christmas Eve is 2 weeks away, and it's starting to feel more like Christmas time here in southern Wisconsin. Holiday lights are up, snow is on the ground, and if you're in Verona this afternoon, you may have even seen some reindeer. Sugar Creek Elementary School hosted the animals this afternoon, along with a bunch of other holiday festivities. While the reindeer may have been the main draw, children could also enjoy face painting, balloon animals, storytelling performances, live music, and even a visit from Santa and Mrs. Claus.
The excitement on their face and the questions that they're asking, you know, what do they eat? You know, why are their antlers, you know, on the ground over here? And what kind of sounds do they make? So it's really a nice way for kids to experience something else in the holiday season.
The event is put on by the Verona Chamber of Commerce. New data this week reveals a sobering picture for youth in Wisconsin, with almost 1 in 5 saying they have seriously considered suicide. That number rises sharply to nearly 1 in 2 when the student is lesbian, gay, or bisexual. There's also trends in anxiety and depression, something we're sitting down with a panel of experts to dig deep into the context and search for solutions.
I think the first thing you have to realize is that obviously this data is stark, and it is sad, and it is scary, and it's been happening for far too long. So we see that 18.1% of all students reported seriously considering suicide in the previous 12 months. That's a scary statistic.
The Youth Risk Behavioral Survey runs every 2 years in Wisconsin, and these latest results were taken from fall of 2021. Coming up Sunday on For the Record at 10:30 in the morning, join Naomi Coles and her panelists for a deep dive into this issue. A new study shows statins lower the risk of the deadliest type of stroke. The stroke, called an ischemic stroke, is caused by an intracerebral hemorrhage when blood from an artery bleeds in the brain. And it's the second most common stroke after a blood clot. The new study in the journal Neurology used prescription data and the health records of more than 88,000 people in Denmark who did not have a history of stroke. Overall, the risk dropped to 17% when they used statins for any period of time. For those who used statins for more than 5 years, had a 33% lower risk of a bleeding stroke. Nearly 3 years since the start of the pandemic, and the airline industry is bouncing back. Still ahead, we'll share some holiday gift ideas for your friends and family to take with them on their next travel adventure. And Jillian's back with your full First Warn forecast when we return.
They've all been very impressed, and several have joked that they're just going to come over and start using our bathroom instead of theirs now.
A new bath or shower from Mad City Baths makes a great impression when family and friends visit. Combine colors and patterns, like Othello with cobblestone impression walls, or bring the beauty of Italy to your shower with San Michele walls and a hexagonal pattern. Surfaces are infused with microban antimicrobial protection for easy cleaning. Plus, it's our end-of-year savings event. Take 75% off installation of a new bath or shower. Purchase now to get $750 in Mad City cash for future home improvements. Receive a free $75 Restaurant.com gift card with estimate. and call during this program for no interest and no payments till 2026. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call 608-729-4466. That's 608-729-4466.
There's a reason big dental bills often come as a shock, because sometimes you don't realize what's not covered until you get the bill. That's why affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual is important. It can give you benefits that go beyond what you get from more limited coverage plans. Because no one likes a big dental bill, especially if you're retired or on a fixed income. For a free information kit, call or go online now. This isn't some discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps cover over 350 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures, at any dentist you want. Dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company helps cover preventive care, basic work, and major procedures, with no deductibles and no annual maximum. For your free information kit with all the details, call now or visit sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual. Those brave men and women of our armed forces, generations of them. Why should today's burdens fall back onto them? They were there for us. Now let's be there for them. Your local Wisconsin energy providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund are working together to deliver Wisconsin veterans in crisis heat, power, and help staying in their home. But they can't do it alone. Call to donate today.
Well, hopefully you were able to take full advantage of the foggy and cloudy day that we had for today and just took a nap or enjoyed some nice holiday movies for us, because we're going to be dealing with even more fog cover throughout the rest of tonight going into our Sunday as well. So don't expect us to see much in terms of sunshine for the rest of this weekend. In terms of visibility, it's a bit more depleted over towards the western side, but even for Madison, we have seen some improvements. We're at 4 miles as of right now in terms of visibility, but from Prairie du Chien to Platteville and Boscobel, they're not even seeing a mile in front of them, and the same goes for our friends in Monroe and Janesville. So if you're driving for it tonight, make sure you're taking it slow, and remember to use your low beams. Taking a look at our radar here in the upper Midwest, we can see whatever kind of showers or even small drizzle that we had is starting to phase out just a bit, and we're going to be looking at that to really clear up for the rest of tonight as we see these systems starting to move their way in throughout the rest of the upper Midwest. The cold front will come in, just bringing in a bit of some chillier conditions to start our Sunday. But then right behind it, we're looking at more dry conditions as high pressure systems will build as that system moves its way out. Now, it's a lot on our screen, and the reason why is because we're entering another unsettled pattern, which is going to be setting next week up for some wet conditions. But let's go ahead and get into the rest of our weekend. Cloudy conditions, temperatures will stay stable throughout the next few hours into the middle 30s. Any activity in terms of flurries or some drizzle will be ending rather early and sticking mainly to the northern parts of Wisconsin and to our friends to the east. Waking up for our Sunday morning, it's still going to be cloudy. It's still going to be foggy. Temperatures will be in the lower 30s. Areas to the west will be into the upper 20s. Not a lot of activity, but it's still not going to be bringing us much sunshine. So for those of us who love the sun, well, I'm sorry, it's just going to be a cloudy one for our weekend. Make sure you double up on your vitamin D as we get in throughout the rest of our weekend. And outside of that, it's not looking at much in terms of any activity for the rest of our Sunday evening. Temperatures are still going to be steady into the middle 30s. And as we transition into our next week, well, folks, it is almost going to be carbon copy of how we're going to start things off for us. Foggy, cloudy, and on top of it, rather quiet. But for next week, going into our Tuesday, we're going to be watching for a system to be bringing in mainly rain by the time we get into our Tuesday night, into our Wednesday, and for our Thursday as well. Areas to the north could be seeing some snow, and we do have a fine line out behind a dry slot that could bring in a bit of some mixtures, but overall we are looking for a rainy event starting in for our Tuesday. It could bring in some significant numbers for us, about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall from the event by the time we get into our Friday morning. So that's one thing to watch for in our first warn we're giving to you from the First Warn Weather Team. Here's our 3 things we'll need to know. We're going to be looking at fog throughout the weekend and even going into our Monday. We could be seeing some drizzle or even a wintry mix for tonight. Slick roads. Remember, folks, we are looking for the ice and the snow to start to melt so ice could develop. So temperatures are still hitting below freezing. And then we are looking for next week to be bringing in potentially lots of rainfall from Tuesday into our Thursday, and could even see a bit of some mixtures late into the overnight. But overall, it is going to be mainly a rainy event. Temperatures themselves, though, will stay rather steady into the upper 30s. Could see some 40 degrees from Tuesday and Wednesday for some areas, but overall, McKenna, it's going to be a wet week ahead for us.
All right. I was going to say looking forward to it, but not really. But we'll just bring the cheer with our holiday lights.
It's not going to be very Christmassy, but hey, at least we're getting some kind of moisture.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, Jolene. Now that travel is bouncing back, what do you give the person that's been to lots of places and still has plans for more trips? Something to take on their next journey, of course. Consumer Reports has practical and useful gifts for all the wanderers on your list, whether they're traveling near or far.
Whether you're traveling for the holidays or welcoming family and friends into your home, Consumer Reports has tried and tested travel essentials you can get or give this season.
When you're traveling, you want the comforts of home, but maybe not the weight of all the comforts of home. So we culled a list of quality products that are also travel friendly.
No matter where your loved ones wander, they'll need to stay hydrated. And they can with this Camelback, which is easy to tote around. Plus, once the valve is closed, it will not leak in your bag. Speaking of bags, CR's tests of luggage turned up some great options. This Patagonia duffel bag converts to a backpack for the adventure-seeking traveler on your list. For a more traditional carry-on, consider gifting this made-by-design hardshell. Not only did it shine in CR's durability tests, it's very easy to maneuver and comes in several fun colors. Just because your globetrotter is jet-lagged doesn't mean their hair needs to look bad. CR's panelists said this weightless dryer from Rusk gets nice and hot and doesn't smoke and singe your hair like many hotel hair dryers. Finally, CR says no matter how near or far they plan to go, experiential gifts are a thoughtful option.
These gifts can be anything from self-care like a massage or yoga class to learning something new like a language or a cooking class. Buy them an experience for when they get to their next location.
And because there's nothing to wrap or throw away, there's less waste, which is a gift for the earth too. This is Teresa Panetta.
Another bonus of experiential gifts: no shopping, lines, shipping delays, or wrapping hassles for you. It's kind of like the gift that gives you something as well. We'll be right back on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Don't go another year with that old, outdated bathtub. Replace it with a new walk-in shower or a new walk-in tub with relaxing hydrotherapy. With more than 50,000 satisfied customers and an A+ rating with the BBB, homeowners trust Mad City Baths. With installations in as little as 1 day, backed with a double lifetime labor warranty. It's our end-of-year savings event. Receive 75% off installation. Plus, get $750 in Mad City cash for future home improvements. And receive a free $75 Restaurant.com gift card with in-home estimate. Remember, with our price lock guarantee, we'll guarantee your price for 1 year. Plus, last chance to call during this program for no interest and no payments till 2026. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call 608-729-4466. That's 608-729-4466.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To your big promotion.
And to your new house. I know.
What? I guess you had to move fast in this market.
Right? Best thing I did was get a pre-approval from Summit. Once I knew my budget, I only looked at homes I could make a serious offer on.
And how's construction going on your place?
1 month left.
Must be stressful.
Actually, no. I'm working with Summit too, and they've been great about answering all my questions and guiding me along. It's been easy.
Whether you're building or buying a home, Summit Credit Union is here to help.
There are still too many bad burgers out there. So Arby's is running that Wagyu Steakhouse burger back. Arby's, we have the meat.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
The first winter storm of the season.
You can see the precipitation area expanding pretty rapidly.
And the First Warn Weather Team helped you stay prepared for snowy conditions.
Those roads are going to be very treacherous,
keeping you safe and ahead of the storms. First Warn Weather, only on News 3 Now.
The only thing standing between Wisconsin and a trip to Omaha is Pittsburgh. That Elite Eight battle, which features the top 2 seeds in this bracket, is just 30 minutes away from getting underway at the Fieldhouse. Now the Badgers danced their way into the regional final after a 5-set thriller with Penn State as Pitt took down Florida in 4 sets. So in order to keep the season alive, Wisconsin's got to get one more win, and it's in a round that Kelly Sheffield sees as the hardest.
I've always thought it was the hardest. You're knocking on the door of doing something everybody kind of dreams of is getting to Final Fours, and we're certainly grateful about being able to be in this place. And when you've got a team that really enjoys being around each other and working together, then every day that you get them at this end of the year is just special.
This will be just the second time in program history that Wisconsin and Pittsburgh face each other. Badgers beat the Panthers back in 2008. Tonight's match begins at 7. We're going to have more at 10. Nick Herbig is moving on. The junior linebacker announces on Twitter this afternoon that he is officially declaring for the 2023 NFL Draft after spending 3 seasons in red and white. This season, Herbig led the Big Ten Conference with 15.5 tackles for loss and 11 sacks. His career as a whole, he had 137 tackles. 97 of those were solo, with 36 tackles for loss and 21 sacks. Day 1 of the draft is set for April 27th. Wisconsin women's hockey extended its win streak to 4 games yesterday with a big win over Minnesota State Mankato. The Badgers hoping to break out the brooms this afternoon in the series finale and head into winter break with a sweep. Well, they get to work quickly. Britta Curl buries the game's first goal less than 5 minutes in for her 12th on the season. Well, the Mavs are able to even it up later on in the period on a power play. But Curl's going to be back for more just before the second intermission gets underway. It's going to be her second goal of that period, and that gives Bucky the lead. After that, it's all UW. They go on to win this one 5-1. Game 1 of the border battle did not go according to the Badgers' plan. Minnesota lit the lamp 7 times last night en route to their 4th straight win over UW. The series finale just began. We're going to have more tonight at 10. 24 hours, the rivalry gets renewed down in Iowa City. Badger men's basketball hits the road for its first meeting of the season with the Hawkeyes, and it's a matchup this team has been looking forward to, especially after beating them on their home court last season. So both teams head into the game with identical records at 7-2. Badgers got back-to-back wins, and they're ready for this Big Ten battle.
Just the way they move the ball and the pace they play. I kind of like all these other teams play with Wake and Marquette, teams that move fast and play in transition. So just limiting those couple things should be good for us.
They're a running gun team, we got a lot of shooters in the team, so we got to come out, jump on shooters, and just play our game in this hostile crowd. So just got to keep our composure, play as a team, and we'll be fine.
Game tips off in Iowa City tomorrow at 5:30.
All right, Jillian, let's get one last check of our forecast.
Well, this 10-day stretch is going to be a very unsettled one. We're looking at fog from tonight going into about Monday for us, and potentially even Tuesday morning. We're watching for a rain system that could mix in with some snow from Tuesday to Thursday and potentially even Friday of next week.
All right, thanks, Jillian, and thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here at 10 with more news.